The House will come to order. The invocation today will be given by the Honorable Sharon McDonald, State Representative from the 56th District. Will members, staff, and guests in the gallery please rise? Representative.
Thank you, Speaker. As we gather to commence today's session, let us take a moment to reflect on the importance of our shared responsibilities and the gravity of the decisions we make on behalf of our constituents. May we approach this session with an open mind and a commitment to serve the people of this state with integrity, empathy, understanding, and compassion. Let us put aside personal interests and work together towards the greater good of all our citizens. As we begin this session, let us be mindful of the diverse beliefs and values held by our constituents. Let us uphold the principles of democracy, equality, and justice for all, regardless of ethnicity, religion, gender, or socioeconomic status. May we be guided by reason and evidence, and may we listen especially closely to the voices of those who may be marginalized and underrepresented. Let us strive to create policies that promote the well-being and prosperity of all citizens and future generations, like the ones we're hearing from now. In this spirit of kindness and cooperation and mutual respect, let us begin our session with a shared commitment to work towards a brighter future for all.
The clerk will open the board for the purpose of taking attendance. The board is now open. Members may check in at their desks.
Speaker recognizes Representative Wenzel.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today I have with me all the way from the beautiful corner of Southwest Michigan, 24 business people from the Berrien County Leadership Accelerator Program in the South Gallery.
Will the guests of Representative Wenzel please rise? Welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives. Members, please check in at your desks. Speaker recognizes Minority Floor Leader Postmus.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to excuse Representatives Bruck and Green.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will close the board, tally, display, and announce today's attendance.
Madam Speaker, a quorum of the House is present. There are no members absent with prior excuse.
Will members, staff, and guests in the gallery please rise and join me now in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Ayash.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to see the order of third reading of bills and take up calendar item number 8, House Bill 4238, and place on its immediate passage.
Without objection, so ordered. A reminder to members, please remain on the House floor for the duration of third reading of bills. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 8, House Bill 4238, introduced by Representative Andrews, a bill to make, supplement, and adjust appropriations for certain capital outlay projects for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2023. The people of the state of Michigan enact.
Without objection, the bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There being no amendments, the question for the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. Clerk will close the board, tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question of final passage of House Bill 4238, there are 95 aye votes and 13 nay votes.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted therefore, the bill is passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Ayash.
I move for immediate effect.
Majority Floor Leader moves to immediate effect. All those in favor, please rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Ayash.
In the order of third reading bills, we'll take up calendar item number 9, Senate Bill 147.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 9, Senate Bill 147, a bill to amend the Elliott-Larsen Civil Rights Act. People of the State of Michigan enact.
Without objection, the bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There are no amendments. Speaker recognizes Representative Shriver.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I oppose Senate Bill 147 because it violates our God-given, inalienable, usable right to the freedom of religion as outlined in our Constitution. I implore you to consider the ramifications of this bill. Current law says employers shall not, quote, discriminate against a person on the basis of sex with respect to a term, condition, or privilege of employment, including but not limited to a benefit plan or system. Senate Bill 147 changes the legal definition of sex to includes but is not limited to pregnancy, childbirth, the termination of a pregnancy, or a related medical condition. SB 147 would require employers throughout the state of Michigan to offer abortion coverage as a part of employee benefit plans. Freedom of religion, as spelled out in our Constitution, prohibits the state of Michigan from requiring organizations to fund abortions against their beliefs. In 2014, the Supreme Court ruled in a case involving Hobby Lobby that Americans cannot be forced to choose between their business and their beliefs. As an ambassador for Christ, I believe in the sanctity of all human life. Psalm 139:13 says God forms life in a mother's womb. Under this law, many Christians and adherents to other religions would be forced to choose between shutting down their businesses and shutting down their beliefs. We all swore a sacred oath to uphold the Constitution, so help me God. This includes the freedom of religion. I urge every member of this chamber to set aside politics and honor our sacred oath. I oppose SB 147. Thank you for your time.
Speaker recognizes Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I am deeply concerned by the potential impact of Senate Bill 147. My concern is that the details of this plan are getting grossly confused. Specifically, the fact that the new definition of sex, as proposed by this plan, places abortion, pregnancy, and childbirth on the same plane, a notion that most people find absurd, especially given that elective abortion and childbirth are exact opposites. Equating the two in the employment section of our state's civil rights law will require employers whose employee benefits plans cover pregnancy and childbirth to now provide insurance coverage and paid time off for elective abortions. This mandate violates the constitutionally protected rights of conscience for private employers and could also impact employees who object to financially supporting elective abortions, including late-term abortions, for fellow employees. This is a significant departure from the current policy in our state, and it's being pushed through under the guise of Proposal 3. But this policy was not and is not included in or required by the new constitutional amendment. Proposal 3 should never be interpreted to allow impositions on private businesses, including churches, synagogues, mosques, and religious schools. Yet this bill does just that, installing a new abortion mandate on private employers and forcing taxpayers to fund abortion benefits for workers employed by the government. The right to an abortion is one thing, but forcing private businesses and religious organizations to pay for it is yet another. Abortion is not the same as pregnancy and childbirth. Employers should not be required to pretend as such, and no one should be forced to support or contribute to another's elective abortion. I urge a no vote on Senate Bill 147. Thank you.
Speaker recognizes Representative Regas.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Safe and rare. Safe and rare, Madam Speaker. That is what we've been hearing throughout this chamber for every abortion vote. However, with the introduction of this legislation, we are telling our constituents that elective abortions are unlimited, on demand, and are now free with your health plan. We have constantly heard from the other side of this chamber that the people of Michigan need the freedom.
You already know. Speaker recognizes Representative Regas.
Thank you. The freedom to have choice. However, the unconstitutional legislation strips the choice from our great Michigan businesses to decide whether they want to provide the funding for their employees to reverse a life. Today is the anniversary of the Supreme Court leak on Roe v. Wade that led to the repeal and the passing of Prop 3 here in Michigan. Our constituents agreed with the advertising that this practice should be safe and rare. But unfortunately, the initiatives of this proposition was pure coercion, scaring young women into thinking that.
Speaker recognizes Representative Smith.
Tyranny.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to oppose forcing businesses to subsidize and provide abortion drugs to participate in the killing of the unborn babies. Michigan's private businesses and institutions are composed of a wide variety of people, a diversity of beliefs and backgrounds, many of which trust the science that life begins at conception. So they believe, as I do, that being forced to pay for abortions and abortion pills is morally wrong. We should protect people's personal beliefs and their rights of conscience, not to participate in the decisions to kill unborn life. I won't go into the graphic details of late-term abortion, but I believe that it would shock the conscience of even the most pro-abortion legislators in this chamber. Life is hard. Life is challenging. We should be providing women with real choices and empowering their ability to choose life, instead of by offering abortion on demand and subsidizing abortion. We make one choice clear. It's easy to kill an inconvenient child, and it's hard and expensive to keep the child and to raise them. It's an old pro-life statement: adopt, don't abort. And adoption is not easy either. But for women like me who cannot have children, adoption has been the highlight of our lives, the joy of our everyday life, and the brightness that we look forward to. I have 3 adopted boys, and I have been a foster mom to many. Those boys are not less worthy of life. If we made it easier for moms in tough situations to abort, they will. If we make it cheaper to kill a baby than it is to birth a baby, many women will choose to kill babies like mine rather than to raise them to be the wonderful young men that they have become. I don't want to reward multinational companies and corporations that make massive profits from the abortions. We should be rewarding the women of Michigan who are making tough choices about whether a baby should continue to grow within them. We should reward women to make choosing life easier in Michigan. We should be providing help and support to women and families who want to raise future Michiganders. We should be pushing bills to make that easier for moms and dads, grandparents, and families. Our people need support. They do not need abortions. Abortion is a destructive act, and we should be encouraging life. I am grateful for the daily joys of each one of my children, and they are grateful for the gift of life. Thank you.
Speaker recognizes Representative Reingans.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today I rise in support of Senate Bill 147. By rising in support of this legislation, what I'm really standing in support of is the protection of women's civil rights. By adding specific provisions to the Elliott-Larsen Civil Rights Act, Senate Bill 147 aims to ensure that women who have terminated a pregnancy are protected from being discriminated against at their place of employment. This bill would make sure that women cannot be fired or retaliated against based on their reproductive health decisions. Healthcare decisions are personal and difficult decisions. I know this firsthand. Those decisions should not affect how someone is treated at their workplace. Those decisions should never make a woman afraid that she is getting forced out of her job. Those decisions should never threaten her for being able to provide for herself. This bill protects women from being discriminated against based on their personal and individual healthcare decisions. It's that simple. What this bill does is maintain your religious freedom. What this bill does is root itself in science and medical research about how bodies do and don't work. What this bill does is reinforce civil rights protections. Health care is a human right. Reproductive health care is a woman's right. Not being discriminated against based on your reproductive health care decisions is also a woman's right. So yes, I stand today in support of Senate Bill 147, and that means I'm standing here in support of reproductive health care decisions as a civil right. So stand with me, stand with the women of Michigan, stand up because you know discrimination does not have a place in our state. Make your stance known by voting yes on Senate Bill 147. Thank you.
Speaker recognizes Representative Fink.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The entire premise of our Civil Rights Act is that legal arrangements in labor relations, leases, school policies, and many other ostensibly private matters have broader implications for society. The Act itself is an attempt to speak to what our society considers the common good. But under this bill, we would be using the power of the state to compel all employers to be complicit in moral decisions they find abhorrent and equating a person's objections to elective abortions with open racism, sexism, and religious bigotry. In discussing any bill related to abortion this term, proponents of the legislation have reminded us that in 2022, the people spoke loud and clear of their desire to have legal elective abortions. What the people did not do in Proposal 3 is mandate that the state force private individuals and organizations to support abortion, to be complicit in what we've so often been told is a personal choice that is no one else's business. Proposal 3, beyond being merely a restoration of Roe v. Wade in Michigan.
Representative, please keep your comments to the bill before us and not a proposal from last year. Speaker recognizes Representative Fink.
Is now being cynically exploited for a frightening purpose to force those who oppose abortion to violate their deepest convictions to fund elective abortions, not merely through their taxes, but even through their private employment relationships. And those employers are not only the businesses that we've already heard mentioned, but even nonprofits whose entire existence is devoted to saving lives. I urge my colleagues to vote no.
Speaker recognizes Representative Brayback.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I stand before you in support of Senate Bill 147. This bill simply eliminates the possibility for discrimination based on pregnancy, childbirth, or abortion. No one should lose their job or have to worry about their employment when making a decision that relates solely to their bodily autonomy. I want to emphasize this. This bill has nothing to do with religion. Religion is already protected under ELCRA. Freedom of religion is a shield, but it must not be used as a sword to impose a belief, no matter how sincerely held, in a way that infringes on the rights of individuals to fully participate in our economy and in our society. Business owners' religious views are their own, and the personal healthcare decisions of their employees are not. This bill has to do with protecting employees. It's about strengthening the rights of workers to live their lives in peace without fear of retribution. Employees' choices should not affect employment opportunities simply because it's not an employer's business. Setting aside the simple fact that this is the right thing to do, we need to stay economically competitive and keep workers in Michigan. Allowing pregnancy discrimination to continue only drives workers away to states with more secured freedoms. We are all aware of the fact that employers need to retain workers. So let's support our economy by passing this bill. As it's been said, bigotry is bad for business. It's plain and simple. This bill allows workers to focus on their jobs instead of possible retribution from an employer on the basis of a private medical decision. I urge my colleagues to vote yes on this bill for workers' job security and protection from discrimination. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. The clerk will close the board, tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question of final passage of Senate Bill 147, there are 57 aye votes and 51 nay votes. The majority of the members elected and serving having voted therefore, the bill is passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Ayash.
Madam Speaker, I move to reconsider the previous vote.
Majority Floor Leader moves to reconsider the previous vote. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. The vote is reconsidered. The question before the House is on the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. Clerk will close the board, tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question of final passage of Senate Bill 147, there are 56 aye votes and 52 nay votes.
Majority of the members elected and serving having voted therefore, the bill is passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Ayash.
Move for immediate effect.
Majority Floor Leader moves to immediate effect. All those in favor, please rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Ayash.
Continuing the order of third reading bills, we'll take calendar item number 10, House Bill 4084.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
Calendar item number 10, House Bill 4084, introduced by Representative Shannon, a bill to amend the State Essential Services Assessment Act. The people of the state of Michigan enact.
Without objection, the bill will be considered read for a third time by its title. Are there amendments? There being no amendments, the question before the House is the passage of the bill. A record roll call vote is required. All those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. The clerk will open the board. The clerk will close the board, tally, display, and announce the vote.
Madam Speaker, on the question of final passage of House Bill 4084, there are 94 aye votes and 14 nay votes.
A majority of the members elected and serving having voted therefore, the bill is passed. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Ayash.
Move for immediate effect.
Majority Floor Leader moves to immediate effect. All those in favor, please rise. Immediate effect is ordered. Speaker recognizes Representative Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Speaker, I want to take the opportunity today to recognize my intern on my staff, Nicole Webb, as it's her last day as an intern in my office. She's graduating from Michigan State University with a bachelor's degree in international relations with a minor in European studies and as a member of the Dean's List. She will be attending George Washington University in Washington, D.C. to earn a master's degree in international affairs. I want to give a big congratulations to her for her accomplishments and a huge thank you for the contributions that she's made to my office as an intern and the constituents of my district. I know that she will accomplish great things and really so proud to have had so many fantastic interns, but I did want to congratulate Nicole, so if she could stand up. Oh, you said that.
Nicole, please rise. Welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives, and thank you for your service to the state. Speaker recognizes Representative Scott.
Speaker. I also want to take the time to acknowledge some visitors that we have today at our state capitol. I want to acknowledge the NAACP Michigan State Conference, Jack and Jill of America Midwestern Region, and the Divine Nine sororities and fraternities. So that's right, exactly. So we want to acknowledge Alpha Kappa Alpha fraternity, Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, Omega Phi Psi fraternity, Delta Sigma Theta, Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, Sigma Gamma Rho, Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, Zeta Phi Beta, and Lambda Phi Theta fraternity. If they could rise.
Will the guests of Representative Scott please rise? Welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives. Speaker recognizes Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also want to recognize some guests that we have here. Pastor Scott Price from Lifegate Community Church over here in the West Gallery. Also with him, Fred Gerhardt and Joyce Black from Berry County. They are also here with the organization called Michigan Pray.
Will the guests of Representative Johnson please rise? Welcome to the Michigan House of Representatives. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Ayash.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to see the order of motions and resolutions and take up House Resolution 100.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
House Resolution number 100, introduced by Representative Johnson, a resolution to declare May 4th, 2023 as a day of prayer in the state of Michigan. And Madam Speaker, we have received a floor substitute H1 from Representative Johnson.
The question before the House is the adoption of the substitute. All those in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, nay. The substitute is adopted. Speaker recognizes Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today with my colleagues to support my resolution to call May 4th, tomorrow, a National Day of Prayer for the state of Michigan. The National Day of Prayer has been recognized as early as 1775 when the Continental Congress called for a day of prayer and fasting. Presidents John Adams and Thomas Jefferson called for days to be set aside for this purpose as well. In 1952, the United States Congress and President Truman enacted legislation that set aside one day every year for prayer and fasting. Since then, presidents on both sides of the aisle have established the first Thursday in May as a day of prayer. Today, we continue this meaningful tradition and opportunity to say thank you for all that God has given us in our beautiful state, our rich Great Lakes, our varied natural resources, our freedoms, and most of all, for each other. Additionally, we are reminded, in light of all of our challenges and current troubles in our culture, that we are dependent on the mercy, the forgiveness, and the amazing grace of Almighty God. Together, I ask that my colleagues and every Michigander set aside tomorrow, May 4th, as a time of prayer and reflection. I'm requesting that my remarks be printed in the journal. Thank you.
The question before the House is the adoption of House Resolution 100. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Ayash.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Extending the order of motion and resolutions, move to take up House Resolution 101.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
House Resolution number 101, introduced by Representative Arbit, a resolution to declare May 2023 as Jewish American Heritage Month in the state of Michigan. Speaker recognizes Representative Arbit. Members, no. Speaker recognizes Representative Arbit.
Nothing particularly fiery to say today, Madam Speaker. I'm just excited to be here with the representative from Farmington Hills to support House Resolution 101 to commemorate Jewish American Heritage Month. This is the first time in Michigan history that we are commemorating Jewish American Heritage Month. Usually we talk about some of the darker chapters of Jewish history, but this month we're celebrating the accomplishments and the achievements and the contributions of the Jewish community to the state of Michigan and to the nation. I mean, think of all the amazing things that Jews have brought to us. Bagels, blue jeans, not this tie, Barbie, Facebook, okay, maybe not that one, but to the Jewish community that raised us, that shaped us, and made us who we are, this resolution is for you. Madam Speaker, in honor of Jewish Heritage Month, I urge my colleagues to pass this resolution. Thank you.
The question for the House is the adoption of House Resolution 101. All those in favor of the resolution will say aye. Those opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Ayash.
Continuing on the order of motion and resolutions, move to take up House Resolution 99.
Without objection, so ordered. The clerk will read.
House Resolution number 99, introduced by Representative Bolin, a resolution to declare April 30th through May 6, 2023 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week in the state of Michigan.
Finally, the Speaker recognizes Representative Bolin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today I stand to recognize the municipal clerks who play a vital role in the operations of our local government. Every day, clerks are called upon to serve in an incredibly diverse role and offer guidance with a neutral and impartial approach. To name just a few of their duties, municipal clerks serve as election administrators, FOIA coordinators, parliamentarians, public meeting organizers, record keepers, the list goes on. To wear so many hats, clerks must come equipped with the highest levels of integrity and great resiliency, and they always stand ready and willing to get the job done. It was my privilege to serve the people of Brighton Township for 16 years as their township clerk, and it is my privilege to stand in this chamber today to offer this House resolution to declare April 30th through May 6th as Professional Municipal Clerks Week in the state of Michigan. It is my hope that you will join me in showing appreciation to our hardworking and resilient clerks for the vital services they perform and their dedication to our communities.
The question for the House is the adoption of House Resolution 99. All those in favor of the resolution will say aye. Those opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Ayash.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that committees be given leave to meet during the balance of today's session.
Without objection, so ordered. Committees are given leave to meet. Speaker recognizes Majority Floor Leader Ayash.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just so the members know, there will be no further voting in the House. Adjourns to stand adjourned until Thursday, May 4th at 12 o'clock noon.
Without objection, so ordered. The House will stand at ease at the call of the chair.